You sit down to work. The task is important and you know it matters. But within minutes, you get restless. Your mind begins searching for an escape. Then one video becomes 10. One short break becomes an entire evening. And somehow, even though nothing physically stopped you, you still couldn't begin. So then what really stopped you? Now, in many instances, procrastination is often misunderstood as laziness, but neurologically, it's much closer to avoidance. Deep inside our brain exists a structure called the amygdala, your brain's threat detector. Its job is simple: identify danger and keep you safe. The problem is, it cannot distinguish between a life threatening physical threat and just a stressful task, a difficult assignment, or a high stakes exam, or a creative project. To the amygdala, these can feel like threats, and since it cannot fight a spreadsheet, your brain chooses to flight or freeze. And just like that, you surrender yourself to the false security of delayed call to action, taking a step towards your eventual failure of management. Human beings are heavily biased towards immediate relief, far more than future rewards later. Psychologists call this the present bias. Your brain is structurally wired to prioritize the present self over the future self. Finishing a project next week feels abstract, but checking your phone right now, that feels rewarding and effortless. Neurologically, your brain views your future self as a completely different person, almost like a stranger. When faced with a choice, the brain will always choose to make the present self more comfortable right now and leaving the stranger in the future to deal with the consequences later. Modern technology also exploits this perfectly. With every notification, every short form video, every dopamine hit, it offers an easy escape from discomfort. Now, sometimes procrastination is not caused by laziness, but by perfectionism. It operates on the flawed equation that the performance determines the worth. The fear of doing something that is not up to its standards becomes so emotionally painful that delaying the task feels safer than attempting it imperfectly. In a strange way, procrastination creates the psychological safety net because if you never fully try, you will never fully fail. The unfinished project becomes a shield for your self esteem. Then there's reasons for procrastination, like how some tasks result in emotional rejection of how it makes you feel: boring, frustrating, meaningless. Psychologists call this task aversion. Your brain constantly moves away from the pain and towards the relief. So when a task feels emotionally heavy, your mind automatically searches for escape routes. It becomes a form of emotional self medication, something that makes you feel safe, even if it is a false safety. Now, usually it is not seem healthy to put pressure in finishing your task, but something strange happens when you put actual deadlines and you start approaching them. Suddenly, the focus appears, the energy reappears, and the urgency also appears. This is called temporal discounting. When a deadline is far away, your brain treats it as unreal. Distant consequences feel emotionally invisible, but as the deadline approaches, panic becomes stronger than avoidance, and anxiety finally overrides procrastination. More than 2000 years ago, Aristotle described a concept called akrasia, acting against your better judgment, knowing what should be done but failing to do it anyway. Procrastination is not simply poor time management, it is a conflict between emotion and reason, comfort and growth, present self and future self. And perhaps the most dangerous part is not the wasted time, but the slow belief that you are incapable of discipline. However, It is not permanent and it can be fixed. And the solution is not to wait for motivation but to start the action, because action creates momentum and momentum can silence fear.